everybody. Back again.
Listen, I'm over here talking to Matt, just prepping for the show. And I'm just talking to him. He's like, "You want to save that for the podcast, you piece of shit?"
Yeah, what the fuck, man? I don't want to have an actual conversation with you. We're not doing it for the podcast.
Oh, fuck.
I'm just going to get out of here.
Shut up. Anyways, welcome everybody to the best motherfucking podcast in the history of podcasts with two friends in a movie. I know there was one with two other friends about a movie.
Yeah.
That shit don't count.
I think we got hacked. I don't know what that bullshit was about.
It don't count. It doesn't matter what happened. Nika Beeman and Andy Savas never gonna get on this fucking podcast.
No, that was a mistake. I mean, we had this big 100-episode plan, and then that's what we put out. And then we follow it with Dune 2. And we got a great movie on tap for you today, my friends.
Let's go, man. Today on Two Friends in a Movie, where two friends talk about a movie. It's kind of in the title. I don't think I got to explain it. We talk about Poor Things.
Poor Things.
We've talked about this movie more than we've talked about even doing this fucking podcast.
It's true. This movie has eluded us for a while. We tried to see it a few times. Something always came up. We never got to it. But thanks to the streaming gods, they finally put it on Hulu.
Yeah.
And we were able to see it.
Yeah.
And enjoy it.
Yeah.
So Poor Things. If you haven't, it's been out for a while, so we're gonna spoil some things. But it's been out for a while, so
for way too long. If you haven't seen it,
it's on you
fuck
now.
You.
Yeah. I'm not apologizing for the spoilers in this movie.
Nah.
So this movie is it's out there.
I don't think. You know what? I don't think it is.
No, you don't think the premise of finding a woman who committed suicide, pulling her body out of a river, finding out she has a baby in her stomach, ripping out the baby, ripping out the baby's brain, putting the baby's brain in the mother's brain, his mother's head after ripping out the mother's brain, and then Frankensteining her back to life to live in a full-grown woman's body with an infant's mind.
Yeah.
It's not a little bit out there?
Nah. I think because it's an allegory, like all allegories tend to work out, right? Like Frankenstein itself is an allegory. That's all this is. And I just think that if you're paying attention and looking at what it's trying to tell you, not that out there. It's just hidden behind
sound effects?
Yeah. I thought I muted this.
Piece of shit.
It's just hidden behind something to make you be like, look, dangling keys. And then when you look at what the story's trying to tell you, you're like, oh, yeah, I don't need that.
What was the story trying to tell you, Sixto?
Well, I think it's about the misstructure of society, how it looks at women, how men deal with sexuality and women, and how all of this world is so fucked up by the idea that men seem to think they can do whatever the fuck they want. They can't really put women in a position where they can do whatever the fuck they want, because then they lose a ton of credibility. And very simply told, it's a very simple concept in a very crazy telling. And it's really about like womanhood and the power of women and how we should be represented rather than being squashed by men and sexuality.
It's true. It's 100%. I like it because it seems like it's telling you the tale of masculinity and how fucked up it is in two different ways at the same time. Because you have Willem Dafoe's character, who is the father or god to her, who's trying to trap her and control her, where Mark Ruffalo's character is trying to
just be like
basically use it as like a sex toy.
Yeah. But not only him, all the men.
But he was the main character, so I'm just pointing that out.
Yeah.
That it was fighting on two fronts almost. They're like, you can't control us and keep us. Also, we're going to use you just as much as you're going to use us.
Right.
And when I'm done with you, you can just
discard
go away.
it. Yeah, you discard it.
So I liked that part of it. So very briefly, Sixto pretty much hit on all the hot topics there.
Sorry, you did ask me.
No, I asked you. I wanted to make sure we were on the same page.
Okay.
'Cause I didn't want to have a conversation before the movie talking about the movie. I wanted to wait until we were on mic.
Yes, you did wait, and here we are.
Yes.
Well, to briefly speak about the plot and how the movie takes place, like
Yes.
Matt explained, the movie starts with a bunch of black and white scenes where the William Dafoe character, Godwin Baxter, better known as God, I don't know why, but whatever.
'Cause he's the
I know
creator.
why, because he's the creator. Being a disfigured monster man that, and by the way, love the steampunk aspect of the movie. Like a lot of steampunk stuff that looked really fucking cool, and it allows, like, if you know, steampunk is like technologically advanced Victorian England setting.
Bright colors,
Yeah,
cool
a lot
landscapes.
a lot of like, I feel like this movie was done 90% of it, except for the acting, was done in AI. Like the sky looked AI.
Yeah.
The designs looked AI. Like color looked AI. It looked AI. So it's like a very weird like aesthetic to the movie. But he creates this, like Matt explained, he found this girl that committed suicide. He creates, so when you start the movie, you see this girl acting like has a mental problem. She's acting like a baby. He's a grown woman.
It's a grown woman.
And she is acting like a baby, and he brings one of his students, because he's a professor of biology or whatever, because he needs an assistant to help with the girl. And the assistant is writing down everything that she's doing, and you see her like learning new words and moving forward. And he's saying, well, she's learning a lot of words a day and this and that. And eventually he finds out what happened, which is, that he put the brain of the baby that the woman was carrying into the woman. And now you realize this is a motherfucking baby that's being sexualized by everybody.
Well, kind of, because she's a baby, but the way she's progressing is, I don't know, 10 times the speed of...
Well, yeah, I mean, because I suppose if you're getting into the science of it, she has the hormones of a grown person that happen, you find out to happen to be incredibly sexualized. She was very sexual herself. So I don't know if the hormones play a way into how the brain is working into this, but it's a motherfucking baby.
The baby. But I'm just saying the way that it progresses, like it starts with her as a baby, but by the end, she seems to be more intellectual than everyone else around her. And she moves through the phases very quickly. Like, you don't think it's like an advanced learning? Like,
I feel like what I took from that was, if you take a very small child and you sexually molest them for a number of time, they're going to have to grow up really fucking fast.
I guess. But she's learning all those words. And they make a point to say in the beginning of the movie that her hair is growing so fast.
Yeah.
And you see it as the movie goes on, that her hair keeps going and going. But they never bring it back again.
But the hair is just long, right?
It's just long. So I wonder if that's like a metaphor for how quickly she's learning. Like, because she definitely learns at a faster speed
than
a baby.
Babies. Right.
And she goes through the phases of life much faster.
And, you start questioning, is this the original woman taking over the baby's brain? You even wonder what sex was the baby, because they never say that.
They never say. And so she's basically captive by God, or Willem Dafoe's character, unable to experience the outside world until Mark Ruffalo's character shows up. He's very attracted to her. He sees what's going on. He kind of feels
really
like,
know, right.
Yeah, he seems like she's a simpleton, but she's a sexy simpleton that I can take advantage of.
Right.
So he convinces her to leave the castle, or the home, wherever the mansion they were in, to go with him. And you can see, so she still has a child's mind because she goes down to God and is like, so tonight at midnight, I'm sneaking out with William Dafoe's character. We're not supposed to tell you that we're doing this.
Yeah, Mark Ruffalo's character.
Yeah, so she doesn't. She's not all there yet, and then she runs off with Ruffalo, and it's like a sexcapade to begin with. Like it's just boning after boning after boning, but she seems to outgrow him very quickly.
Yeah,
where you could see Mark Ruffalo's character kind of struggles with understanding it. He's like, wait, we were just in love yesterday, and now today you're done with me.
Well, it's a child's mind. Like she's just like, well, I'm into this now. I'm not.
And I feel like it's also a good role reversal almost. Like most movies, it's the man who's like,
I'm done with you now.
I'm done with you. I'm not really like attached to you. This was just for sex. And the woman is much more emotional and like, no, I love you. Stay with me.
Yeah.
Where this one was kind of reverse, where Ruffalo's character is all distraught. He's like, I don't know what to do with myself. I can't get you off my mind. Blah, 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 blah. And she's like, fuck off, man. I'm done with you.
Yeah. So Mark Ruffalo, at some point, she tells, because now she finds people and she starts living a life. She starts learning way fast. She encounters very interesting characters through life that are teaching her a lot of shit. I feel like calling the baby Bella her is even wrong. Because I don't know why I feel this way. It's again because I don't know what kind of brain this person has. I almost feel like I should call him they. Is that weird? Like, do you feel like that?
No, I didn't really. I just assumed it was female. I
don't even know.
You don't know. You bring up a great point because I didn't put one and one together there. It's just
I don't know what to say, but I mean, it's obviously presented as a woman.
Yes, and she obviously acts like a woman.
Yeah, but I don't even know.
But
that's
you don't
proper,
know, yeah.
Right? Well, in any case,
and does it even matter if a brain is born in a male body and you put it in a female body?
What does it matter?
Yeah, does it?
Yeah,
is it a female
or vice
now?
versa?
Yeah.
Right? Like, what does it matter? Well, anyways, Bella. I'm gonna just call Bella by Bella's name. Bella is having all of these experiences and outgrowing Ruffalo, like you said. Takes his money that he won gambling on the boat, because now they went to Lisboa. How do you say Lisboa in English?
Lisbon.
And they went to Lisbon, and because she wanted to go, and now they're in the boat because she kept fucking people in the streets because doesn't know any better.
Yeah, it's pure sex and
right.
Physical. It's not an emotional connection.
It feels really good. The end.
Yeah,
and so he Ruffalo goes crazy, and he's like, "We're getting on this boat. Now we're on a boat, and now you can't escape, and now you have to only fuck me because that's the way it's gonna go." And now she's experiencing the world and gives away all of his money. So now they're broken friends, and she goes and talks to this lady. And I'm skipping a lot of this movie because we get into the details as we talk later. Goes into this lady. She tells her, look, I rent you a room for $10. You sell your body for $13. Great deal for everybody.
It was 30, but same thing.
30?
30.
10 francs to rent, 30 to have sex with her.
And then she gives 10 of those francs.
Right.
She keeps 20 and the house gets 10.
Got it. And so she's like, everybody wins.
Yeah.
And so Bella is like, really? Like, men would just pay to have fun? Why? And she's like, well, because that's what happens. And, they go through this whole thing, blah, 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 blah. She makes a ton of money, finds out that God is dying. So she goes to see God. And the assistant man that was helping God write down how she was growing, how Bella was growing, now was betrothed to her, which, by the way, bothered me to no end. And now he's like super in love with Bella, and Bella comes back, and now they have this confrontation of like, hey, I was betrothed to you. Do you still want to marry me? Because I was a whore. And he's like, yeah, I don't care that you were a whore. Let's just do this thing because I love you. And now they're gonna get married. And that woman that committed suicide, her name was
Victoria.
Oh, Victoria. Sorry, thank you. And Mark Ruffalo puts out her picture on the newspaper, and the husband of Victoria shows up. And now you find this other character. There's an absolute asshole. He's a total bully. And he's like, yeah, you can't escape my house now because I have a gun and nobody else has a gun in this house. He keeps pointing the gun at everybody.
Mm-hmm. And he's a real tough guy.
Yeah, a real fucking asshole is what he is. and eventually he's like, I got to cut off your clitoris because that's what's been making you crazy from the get-go. Since you were Victoria and now you have the baby's brain in you, which he didn't believe.
I mean...
Would you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind. I don't get on him for that.
And so he pulls out the gun on her. She fucking knocks him down, takes the gun. He's being shot in the foot. They go to operate on him, make him into a sheep. And again, I'm going really fast here.
Really fast.
And she does marry the guy that
the assistant
Bella was betrothed to, and they turn the old husband into a fucking sheep. Happily ever after. So,
and you can see, like, sex, I think, is the, I guess, biggest part of it, or like the most effective part of it. But that's how Bella is her whole life. You see her, like, she's having a meal that she doesn't enjoy and she spits it out, and they were like, you can't just spit out your food. You're in a restaurant. And she's like, it tastes bad. I don't want it in my mouth. Why would I keep it in my mouth? Right. And then the baby starts crying, and she's like, I'm going to go punch that baby because she's annoying me. So you could see, like, she has a very abstract point of view of life.
Mine.
Yeah. But that's, like, very, what's the word? No empathy, I guess, for others. It's...
like a child does.
Not just a child, but I have a child, and they care for other people.
But if when your child was 2.
But she's older than 2 now.
But when your child was 2, did your child understand empathy? Or do you have to teach your both of your kids a little bit of, like, you don't do that. You have to control how you feel about certain things.
Not overall. When Roxy was in preschool, which was 3 to 4, I guess, one of the friends she met because a girl was crying in the corner, and Roxy felt bad that she wasn't playing with anybody and just walked over to her and said, don't worry, everything's going to be okay. We can play together.
But that's because she learned it somewhere.
But she was 3 or 4.
But she learned it from somebody.
I'm just saying,
behavior.
I'm saying that empathy could exist. And
right.
I think it's more than just a child's mind. I think it's too black and white to say, well, she's a child because she has a child's mind. Where I think it's more to the story because the way she acts and the way she evolves is not like a normal person would change and evolve. And at the end, she becomes almost
the smartest person in the room.
Well, like William Dafoe's character.
Right.
Where she's now in control of everything. She dictates who does what. She says, no, you're a bad person. I'm going to put you on a chain and you're a dog. The maid who's in the hospital, her maid when she was growing up is now treated like a regular person. And when, like at the end, when she's like, we need to get more of whatever, I think it was a drink or something.
Water, yeah.
She sends the girl that they put the mind. So halfway through the movie, we skipped a part where after Bella was gone for a while and William Dafoe's character and the person that she was going to marry, the assistant.
Max is his name.
Max, they felt that she wasn't coming back. They did the experiment again. They found a different girl with a different baby, and they tried it again, but it wasn't working as well as it did with Bella.
Right.
So this person now is growing up and is an invalid, doesn't have the mind that Bella got. So she's more of a simpleton, and they have her kind of doing these tasks where the former maid seems to be a regular person, just another one.
Enjoying life.
Yeah. So the rate that she accelerates her mind is much quicker than...
And I'll give you that she obviously, or Bella as a character is obviously not normal.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever happened to the baby, it was a genius baby. Whatever the fuck the luck was that got in there, whatever it was Doogie Howser.
Doogie motherfucking Howser.
Because if experience would be what changed the growth of
Bella,
the same experience that Bella had to a certain point is the experience that the other baby woman had.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't grow as fast as Bella. So I guess you're right. And that's why I think this is a bit of an alimony for like togetherness of mind. And I want to believe that, except if I'm being very honest, which I always am, and I've always tell you this, women, the female of the species, naturally is more advanced and smarter than the male of the species, competitively in a blanket statement. So girls at 3 years old are more put together and smarter than boys at 3 years old and more advanced. And that's just nature. So I don't want to say that it's a boy's brain. I just think that I want to think that because I wonder if that is what this movie is trying to tell you too. That if you put everything together into one person and stop judging them by how they look outside or what kind of brain they have, if they're smart, they're fucking smart. So you have to stop worrying about what you're trying to portray of a person from the exterior or the interior and just judge them by their actions.
That, and I also think part of it is if you get rid of social cues and social norms and just have someone go on instinct, this is how they would act.
Yeah.
Like, she's totally correct when she puts something in her mouth and doesn't like the way it tastes to get it out of her mouth.
Right.
That's what makes sense.
Yeah.
Why would you continue eating something you don't like
and
for the sake of politeness?
Yeah, and I think that absolutely that's very powerful of a message here, but also that you also kind of need some sort of ruling. Like, yeah, we understand that that's how it is, but there's better ways to do that. I understand what you're trying to say.
Well, I think that's the part she's missing.
Right.
So I think that's why she evolves to what she does, and almost seems like she's about to take over the world. And I got a real evil vibe at the end of this movie, like she was going to do something sinister in a large-scale movement. And I think that's part of it, is the lack of empathy and the lack of politeness and social cues
and control
and the way you're supposed to exist in life.
Yeah.
It might even be a take almost on someone on the spectrum, how they don't see life as a normal person sees life, and that it might seem odd in behavior to some, but to them it's completely normal.
Yeah.
And makes complete sense in their mind.
And normal in quotation marks. Here,
absolutely. This normal as in society, what society wants you to be.
Yeah.
Not so much what I think people should be.
Yeah. Look, I think this movie looks gorgeous. The acting is fucking superb from everybody.
It's true.
I mean, I have no complaints about anyone in this movie. Everybody's interesting. Everybody's fucking giving 110%. Even when she becomes a whore and you see the guys that are coming in, those performances are fucking amazing. And she's having like a thing where she's like talking to a guy. It's like, look, instead of you just coming in here and just fucking me, you're going to tell me a story. I'm going to tell you a joke. Then I'm going to sniff you. And if you don't need to take a shower, then we can just fuck. And it's such like a fucking crazy moment where you're like, what don't you understand about you being used physically? But how could Bella understand that she's being used physically when she doesn't care?
Yeah, and I don't think she sees it as her being used physically.
And that's what I mean.
She's controlling the situation.
Yeah, and also, like, for her, sex is just a good feeling thing, so who cares?
It's a good feeling thing, and it takes... You don't know in this world, wherever they live, like, disease doesn't seem to be an issue.
Right.
So if you take that...
But when she comes back to the new husband, she's always like, I got to be tested for any...
Yeah, but they don't seem overly concerned. Like, no one seems overly concerned about diseases. And that's really the only thing that she would have to worry about. She doesn't have that emotional connection. She doesn't... Like, I have a brother who has... It used to be called Asperger's. Now it's just called on the spectrum. I'm not sure what the exact name is. But he is like that, where he doesn't have a lot of emotional connections to things. He sees everything very black and white. This is either good or this is bad. And the emotions don't get tied in too much, which kind of seems what this is for Bella, is sex is just sex.
Yeah.
It's not about love. It's not about emotional connection. Yeah. It's like eating a delicious hamburger. Like, it just tastes good, and that's the only reason you're doing it.
Yeah, right. And I want more.
And that's what this is. It feels good, and that's the only reason for doing it. And if someone's going to give me money for something I enjoy doing,
why not?
it's a win-win.
Can we talk a little bit about the sex? Because there's a ton of naked.
It's a ton of naked, and it's all around naked. It's not just like topless naked. It's full frontal. It's everything.
Like the whole caboose. And at a certain point, look, I enjoy seeing anyone that is very attractive naked, man or woman. But at a certain point, I was like, I got the point. I get it. I got it. Enough. Like, tell me more story. I think like this movie, like my biggest complaint about this movie, I'll say it again because I told you as soon as I talked to you this morning. My biggest complaint about this movie is that it's 2 hours and 20 minutes. I just think that is, for the story that it's telling me, maximum 2 hours would have done the exact same job.
See, I disagree. I think the movie has many levels, and the sex and the masculinity and that kind of stuff is very surface, but I think it goes much deeper into many different other levels. Things that I probably don't even get. I want to watch it again to kind of
I bet you do.
Redo it again.
You fucking
and to go back to the clothes thing, one, the outfits in this movie are incredible.
Amazing.
The dresses they put them in, even the men's outfits, they're all incredible outfits.
Amazing.
I don't know if this won Best Costume Oscar.
I don't think so.
But I think it should have, because I don't remember seeing anything better costume and makeup and outfit-wise than this movie this year. And secondly, I think the reason the clothes come off so easily is all part of the overall theme that it's a stigma. And to her, it's clothes, no clothes, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. And I can see why they would push so much on the sexuality and the physicality of the sex for the movie. Because I think for me, for example, in comparison to you, I felt very uncomfortable with the idea first of William Dafoe creating...
It did win. Poor Things did win the Oscar for Best Costume.
Best Costume?
Yes.
I mean,
it won Best Actress, Best Costume, Best Production Design, and Best Makeup and Hairstyling.
There you go. I think that where the bigger difference is between you and me in this movie is that I'm incredibly bothered by the idea that there's a baby's brain in this woman's body, no matter how beautiful and sexy she is. The first thing that bothers me the most is that you can see that Max, as soon as he meets this woman, is in love with her. And seeing how she's acting, it feels wrong from the get-go. Because if this woman wasn't a baby and just acted like that and obviously had like a developmental issue or a processing issue, you're fucked up. And secondly, when he talks to God about why do you make her, is it because you wanted to fuck her, essentially? He goes, I can't, because if I ejaculate, it take as much power as it does to light up London. So I can't even do it, so you should fucking do it. And they just treat her like a thing to fuck with.
Yeah, I think that's one of the overall themes is how fucked up men are towards women.
But I think that to me carried through the entire movie to the point where certain things just bothered me because that never escaped me.
I think it's supposed to bother you throughout the movie.
But it didn't seem to bother you, motherfucker.
It does bother me.
Jerking off to fucking Emma Stone naked.
Listen, it's way more than that. I think it's supposed to bother you. I think if it doesn't bother you, you're fucked up because the whole situation's messed up. And if you're siding with the Mark Ruffalo character on this, I don't think we could be friends anymore. But
I think Mark Ruffalo actually even represents what most men would be like in this situation. You see a sexy woman, you know you can take advantage of her. He obviously has a sexual drive that's very big, and he feels that it's okay because his sexual drive is big to kind of bamboozle her to do shit.
Yeah, and control her and say, you can only fuck me. You stay in this room. We're together. You can't go off and see other men. It's all about men controlling women. No matter no matter if there's a baby's brain in there or
a grown woman,
or a teenager.
That's what the old husband exactly represents. That she committed suicide because he was a controlling piece of shit.
Yeah.
And she just felt like, I'd rather die than deal with this motherfucker.
There's no way out, and she wasn't as brave, I guess, as Bella is, to just be like, fuck you, I'm done with you, I'm moving on. So I think it's a very, very big woman empowering kind of movie, near like how she
I hope so.
takes control of her own world and says, if this is the world I'm living in, I'm going to take as much advantage of it as you are.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make you pay me for sex. I'm going to take control of everything. And at the end, I'm going to be the leader.
I talked to one woman about this movie by coincidence. And she said to me, I hated this movie. Is all a sexual wet dream for men. And that's it. And I think she was oversimplifying, and quite honestly, because she's a very smart person, I think she was just speaking about to the part that bothered her the most.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that most other women saw this and were like, not quite. But I couldn't outgrow in this story. I personally couldn't outgrow the fact that there was a baby's brain in her. I just couldn't. It bothered me constantly. It was bothering me the entire fucking time as she kept growing and getting smarter and showing you that obviously Bella is a fucking genius beyond. And actually, I think another one of the points that we didn't talk about is how the professor, William Dafoe character, the professor, Professor Baxter, was absolutely debauched and abused by his father. And he's mega smart.
Yes.
And like there is some sort of point that they're making in this story that abuse brings forth growth at an accelerated rate and probably develops your brain at an accelerated rate. Fucked up.
It's fucked up. I think it's a real fucked up mirror to the world. I think makes people uncomfortable. One, the sex is jarring. I think in the beginning, like you're like, this is a lot. And two, it really brings up a harsh reality and almost a mirror to not only society, but you as a person.
Yeah.
Have you acted this way? Have you done this kind of stuff?
Right.
I mean, I can't say 100% that in my 20s or even probably my teens that I didn't respect women as much as I should have. And you get those men hormones. You're like, I just want to fuck everything.
Yeah.
It shows you, like,
this
the
is
other side of it. Like, this is how the woman feels
right
when you're doing these sorts of things.
Right.
So I think it's supposed to make you feel uncomfortable. It's supposed to say, man, this is fucked up. Because it is.
No, and I'm not arguing that. But what I'm getting at is I couldn't get past in my head the fact that there was a baby in this. I just bought too much into the storytelling.
I think the whole time I was thinking that it's evolving faster than a person. This isn't a human as me and you know it. This is an accelerated rate of growth in something that's unheard of and unknown because no one's ever taken a baby's brain and threw it in a woman's body before.
Right.
But to see where she starts the movie and where she ends the movie, and, you know, nobody, not like Mark Ruffalo starts as a young man and is this old guy by the end of the movie. Like, this is a short period of time. Few years, maybe a decade at the most.
I don't think so, but maybe.
Yeah, like I'm sure it's less than that, but I'm saying at the most it's 10 years. It's probably much less than that.
Yeah.
So she grows at an incredible rate from a newborn to a powerful woman in just a few years. So I don't know, seeing that growth, to me, I just knew that this is no longer a baby, and this is not. You can't view this in the eyes of a normal person because this is not.
He's not a normal human being, right? And again, I questioned a lot how much, even though the brain of the mother was out, how much of the essence of the mother, maybe the spirit even of the mother, infiltrated into that baby spirit and creating this new person, mix both of those things. The one of a woman that knows what she wants and how she wants it and can't get it, and the simplicity of a baby that if I wanted, I take it, and if I don't, I spit it out. And how those two mix into this new being, like you're saying, create this thing that is like the Kwisatz Haderach. You see what I did there? I brought in Dune.
I'm editing that out.
At any rate, yes, the premise is amazing. And yes, it shows you a lot of things that are incredible. I just think it's too long.
Yeah, I disagree.
I mean, that's fine, but I think it's too long.
I think it was proper. And I think if you gave it a second watch and we gave it a second watch, I think it's much deeper than we think.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it brings up a lot of discussion. If we're correct, if we're incorrect, doesn't matter. I think a good piece of art brings up a lot of discussion.
Art is supposed to bring forth an emotion.
Yeah.
And that's what this has
done.
And
I think it does that perfectly. I think it brings up a lot of emotions.
An emotional reaction, I should have said.
I need to cut to our sponsor real quick before we jump into our toe rating. But remember,
Two Friends in the Movie brought to you by Peanut Butter in the Ass.
Peanut butter in your ass. I think we're starting to lose a little
steam.
Yeah, with that. We think we might need a new sponsor next week.
I think we need a new sponsor, but they're paying, bro.
I know, but not enough. So here at Two Friends and a Movie with Matt and Sixto, we have a rating system that goes from 0 toes being some movie we just saw, or 6 toes being picture of the year like we gave to Oppenheimer.
That's right.
How many toes you giving Poor Things?
All honesty, always in front for me.
Always.
When I finished this movie, it was a 1.5 toe movie for me.
Oh, damn.
And then I slept on it, woke up, haven't stopped thinking about it. True story. And it got to the point where right now, it's a 4 toe movie for me.
Oh, that's a big jump from
it's
waking up
jump.
to the afternoon.
You know, I think that once I understood because I was so bothered. You know what? Can I get real for a second, even though not funny or whatever?
Go.
Because I was like physically abused as a kid. I think that abuse to a kid, I'm a little too tender to. Not to bring everybody down on it, but I think I'm too touchy on it to have in the first watch having been not bothered enough by. You know what I'm saying?
That makes sense.
And so I think that I couldn't climb that hump. But the more I thought about the movie and I understood what the real point of the movie, I mean, the sexuality now from a distance being like, wow, this is really fucked up how men treat women like objects all the fucking time. I think that I can see more of the power of the movie. 4 toes, even 4.5, actually, if I'm being, like 4.5 is more of a real number.
We're climbing this second. I'm going to ask you again in a couple minutes. We're going to be at 6 toes.
4.5, I think, unfortunately, is way too long. I know we disagree on it, but I think you could have achieved the same with less sex scenes, which is what you want more of. You want a TV series of poor things.
I don't know what you're throwing this all on me.
Yeah, because you're a sicko. Look at you.
Not about the sex scenes.
But I think
they're very important to the movie.
I think so too. But I also think that you could have reached the same point with 20 to 25 minutes less, and it would have been the same fucking story.
See, I disagree. I see a movie we talked about earlier, Saltburn, where we felt like the shock value and those scenes were overdone and kind of went to it just for the sake of going to it. I feel the opposite here.
I agree.
I think they're all necessary because I think it's supposed to make you feel uncomfortable. And 1 or 2 might not get you there. But as it keeps going, you're like, this is really fucked up. I think that's what they're trying to get to. Trying to pull that out of you, that it never ends. Women are treated like this every single day, everywhere they go, no matter what's going on. Okay. And so I think the over and over and over and over does it is part of that, is to give you that uncomfortability and show that there's no break from it. They don't get a day off. I give it 5 toes.
Whoa.
I kind of wanted to give it 6.
Oh.
But I'm going to keep it 5. because it is a little out there and there is a lot going on. And some of the things are fucked up. But I really enjoyed it. It's like we mentioned before, it's shot beautifully.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's AI, if it's real, whatever it is, I thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
I thought the colors were really cool. I thought the
Yeah.
outfits were really cool.
Yeah.
I thought the acting was superb. I didn't
Absolutely.
find one bad actor in this movie.
Not even the extras. Like everybody. Was
Yeah, everyone was
fucking
on point. I didn't think it was too long, like Sixto. And as your emotional experience is brought into it, I think having two daughters
good.
and seeing a real strong female lead kind of take her own destiny and not let the men around her
And the
dictate what she's
society.
going to be, I think it was great. It felt really good to me. It felt like
yeah, but I'm not arguing any of that. I'm
I'm not saying
the
you're
lens.
arguing. I'm saying that's how just
Yeah, yeah.
my point of view and me seeing it. That's kind of the lens I looked at it through. Is women could do whatever they want, no matter what they want to do, and there's going to be obstacles, and not everyone starts at the same starting point, which makes life kind of fucked up.
Yeah,
But at the end, if that's what you want to be, you can get there.
yeah. Do the push and have a lot of sex like Emma Stone.
Yeah,
Wait, that's not the message. is it?
that's not the message.
Get a baby's brain in you, and then fuck everybody, and you'll make it.
You can get whatever you want from men. Just wear a low-cut shirt,
just-
and they'll do whatever you want. Whatever you
it is.
want.
Listen, pop your butt once. Any man around will be like, "What? What do you want? What?
You're hungry? You don't have lunch, buddy?
Pop your butt.
You'll get.
Just pop your butt.
You want to go to the bar? You didn't bring your bag?
Boop. Just pop it."
You know,
And then don't even let him touch you or talk to you. Just
Yeah.
be like, no, just pop it.
Just
Boop. Here's
take-
a drink.
take
Thanks.
that beer and just move on.
Yeah,
go back to your
yeah,
female
go back to
friends.
your- Just like, close the
Yeah.
gates. Close the gates behind you. Oh man, it's fucked up, dude. It's fucked up.
It's a fucked up world.
Yeah, yeah.
And we are all fucked up in it.
Yes, we all are. Anyways, this has been Two Friends in a Movie,
It has.
the best podcast with two friends about a movie.
It's a proven fact.
It's being well documented with fucking envelopes,
Facts.
facts of life.
Facts on facts on facts.
Thank you for joining us. Cue the fucking music. We out, bitch.
Oh, damn.
Two friends in the movie. 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 With Matt and Sixto. With Sixto and Matt. With Matt and Sixto. With Sixto and Matt. With Matt and Sixto.